Humanity, it seems, has lived on this planet long enough. At first, when we called them angels, we meant it. Their flawless crystalline forms caught the sunlight in dazzling colors, and their radiance set our hearts at ease. These otherworldly creatures didn't come from any planet we could identify, but we knew the second we set eyes on them that they came from somewhere beyond us. Then the slaughter began. Soon we spat the word angel with a thick, poisonous irony, heavy with grief and terror. Their attacks didn't seem random. In the middle of our largest and proudest cities, they showed their blades and showered the land in their poison. They flashed into existence like exquisite kaleidoscopes, and everyone they touched died. Earth creatures, ourselves included, crumple at their touch, dead in instants. Where angels have gone, nothing will live. The air shimmers like an oil slick in all the colors of the rainbow, and the very grass withers. There's a lingering sound, faint but detectable by sensors, like the ringing of a struck wine glass. Now we call them angels literally. We know what they are. They have come from heaven to massacre us. We will not let them.
%30 and rising. 70% and rising.
Civilians are all cleared. We're making a retreat. We're not sticking around for this.
All civilians are cleared?
We're still not showing any civilians on our scanners.
The scanners didn't find civilians inside this building. We don't know where else they can be.
Yeah, what was that big boom just now? Clearly something else is up.
Forget the scanners. There are people out here.
Young, good enough. We retreat.
We're not aiming for good enough.
That's an order.
The sun rises over Solomon City, reflecting off the surface of Lake Michigan and the city's artificial surface in equal measure. The temperature is 27 degrees. The forecast calls for sunshine with an 85% chance of giving way to heavy rain later in the day. The base is alive. The base never sleeps, but the rest of the city is just coming to terms with the beginning of another day. The day's events can't be forecast like the weather, but everyone in it is trying to think about their chances of success, of love, of happiness, of survival on yet another day. The day that would later be referred to as the Kingston Incident.
In a deep, mostly forgotten corner of the Hell headquarters located within Solomon City is a small, seldom used briefing room. Old. Most of the furniture a holdover from one of their previous headquarters, relocated when Solomon City was built. And there are 3 people sitting inside it. The lights flickering slightly. The electrician hasn't been out here in some time to check the wires. Flannery, Linlin, and Balthazar are sitting in this briefing room, awaiting someone they've been told will be their new commanding officer as they are transferred to work in the field. They don't know anything about this individual beyond the fact that they are a lieutenant and their name is Mia. Well, Lieutenant Tally, to be more accurate. They sit alone in this briefing room, unattended by any other staff or officers, and the telltale signs of Mia's approach can be heard coming down the hall from beyond the closed door. Heavy boots against the tile floors in this section of the building. Dressed in an officer's uniform, hat firmly clipped in place, hair tucked up underneath it. Mia, a woman just about 6 foot in height with relatively pale skin and dark black hair hidden beneath the cap, enters. Hello, all of you. Sorry to keep you waiting. She walks to a desk in the front of the room and sets down a stack of papers and folders. I already know your names, and I've read your staff records But do me the courtesy of introductions. My name is Lieutenant Mia Talley, and I will be your commanding officer from this day forward. Appointed directly by the commander themselves. So I'll do my best if you do yours. If we could start from the left here, you, young lady, could you tell me who you are and your hymnal type?
Flannery is a quite short 18-year-old girl. She's got a bit of a stout frame, but she's well built. Not necessarily in a muscular way, but in a general athletic sort of way. She has long, wild, red hair that's uncharacteristic of someone in the military, and that's only because she has not been in the military for very long. But she's here for what she feels is a pretty good reason. She was enticed by promises of what hell could do for her and her future, and moreover, what she could do for her fellow people. Yes, ma'am. My name's Flannery Fontaine. My hymnal is Sunrise Vixen, Messer type, class 4A. Ma'am? I like to get in the fray, so I think I'd be pretty darn good on the front lines, and that's sort of what I've been training for. My hymnal it's got some flame abilities, so I could probably be pretty useful for burning any of the angel types that can be burned. I guess that's obvious with fire. Yeah, okay. And now she's getting nervous again.
And you, here in the middle.
Balthazar is a small being, somewhere probably like 5'4". They are dark skinned. They have their like hair tied up in like lavender locks. They have a small like circular framed glasses, and they also dress very reserved in a way where I'm imagining that they're wearing like just like a white t-shirt and like tight fitting blue jeans and just like a pair of white sneakers. Their posture is trying to make them as like compact as possible. And they have been just kind of like staring at their desk, like knee bouncing. And upon being called on, looks up, not quite looking Mia in the eye, and go, Balthazar, Baker, hymnal almost blue, 9B.
Where do you see yourself in the field? As far as where you feel most comfortable, the use of your hymnal, where do you feel you're best suited?
Their like knee starts bouncing again. I don't know.
Okay. And finally, you at the very end.
Leland looks like somebody who would be the perfect awkward middle child between the previous two. She is also the awkward middle height between both of them, still being quite short at 5'1". Her hair is swept to the side, but it's naturally pretty messy, so it's just an effort to stop the inevitable. She wears a colorful hoodie that is bright yellow with some white stars, and you can see that the rest of her skinny jeans and her shoes are Frankensteined with patches and stitch work just to try to keep everything together. It looks like she's normally pretty naturally tanned as a South Chinese girl, but you can tell that from her time inside and the unfamiliar white clouds that block the sun as of late have bleached her skin slightly paler than she would normally be before she moved here. Linlin Yang, my hymnal is Dolce Diver, type Z-Stun. I also believe that I belong on the front lines, on the field. I'm a natural at a lot of that, I've been told, and I think I can do it, and I want to do it.
Thank you, Miss Young. So the plan is we are going to be doing a mock field exercise today, provided the weather stays as nice as it is. I appreciate your answers. And she does pass a glance over Balthazar when saying that. The information you've given me today and any more I ascertain in the field will be put to use. to not only make sure that you can do your best to save the lives of others, but also to ensure that you yourselves remain alive. I will say this only once to all of you. Should you ever feel that events are far too dire and that we have no chance and that you fear for your lives over your concern for the lives of those around you, you will leave.
And at this point, I think the phone rings.
Shit. Mia reaches behind the desk and picks up the phone.
It is Callista from the support staff. The only thing that Callista has to say, very quickly, twice as fast as she normally speaks. We've lost contact with Astaroth Team. You're all to report to the bridge.
All right, field exercise is canceled. We're all reporting to the bridge immediately. Grab your things.
Flannery blinks in surprise and is like, wait, hold on. You mean we're actually going out there, like, for real? Like, right now?
Right now. Move, all of you.
Okay, and she looks like she's a mix of, like, nervous, but also kind of a little excited as she gets moving.
All right. And Mia sees herself out as quickly as possible, grabbing the papers and documents and everything in her hand and just, like, storming out.
And I believe the next we see our heroes, they are huddled together in the back of a helicopter on its way over the state of Michigan, over the Great Lakes. It's a longer journey, I think, than you've made by helicopter in the past. But that's not really what's weighing on any of you right now, I don't imagine. There have been a series of angel attacks in nearby Kingston, Ontario. Hell has been temporarily granted permission to act internationally to make up for the delay in sending the CAF down from Ottawa. Marchosias Team, that is to say all of you, are to defend the abandoned Kingston Penitentiary, where Astaroth Team was last seen. None of them can be contacted. Paimon Team has been sent to the residential district, where they've been beset on all sides. Paimon Team is, as usual, streaming, and the bridge is carefully watching their feed, knowing that at any moment, a propaganda outreach will be taken away from them and turned into something much more grim. Gamagan Team has been sent downtown, and so far has reported a near total rout of the angels that had been besetting the downtown region of the relatively small city. And here's the view from the helicopter. What you see is a walled-in compound. Several cross-shaped buildings. Enormous ones, but you're looking at them from the sky, so they look like everything looks like from the sky. Like toys. The fence is enormous, made of concrete, topped with stern watchtowers, from the days when this was an active jail. It is no longer. The fence is overgrown. What were stately gardens out front, meant to disguise the grim nature of what happened inside, are now nearly forest, and ivy has reclaimed all but a few of the buildings in the compound. Your support staff have notified you that the angels have been detected near the northmost door. And as you land, you cannot help but wonder what they're doing there. Or maybe you can't help but wonder what you're doing here. Again, I am not in charge of what you wonder. When you first arrive, the air is thick and dense and shining in every color of the rainbow. You had been warned about this. Condemnation at 20%, you'd been told, before you set in. There are also a pair of enormous, pearlescent, amorphous creatures just kind of slamming their shapeless, soft bodies against the side of the penitentiary. They're multiple stories tall, almost as large as the building itself. And if they had a face or an expression, they would seem dead set on taking it down.
Baker, Young, though we've been told no one is present, as far as civilians, if there are any hangers-on, your priority is to get them out, period. Fontaine, stay relatively close to me.
Gotcha.
Other than that, act as you see fit. Don't get yourselves into any danger that is unnecessary, and if you feel that you can't handle yourselves, leave. And put as much of me between them and you as you can.
Balthazar nods.
No one dies.
No one dies.
Mia wants to be as close as possible.
All right. So let's move Mia just right up next to one of these 8th Chorus Angels. They are way, way larger. I have a question. In order to just jump out of a helicopter, you're going to need to activate your hymnals on the way down.
Okay.
Which song does Mia sing?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I think Mia doesn't want to fuck around, so Mia is gonna sing her violent song.
All right. And just for a moment before combat starts in earnest, I'm going to ask you a question that the manual has underneath the violent song, which is to say, who or what are you really out to destroy? Or you can answer the second question, will you ever get the chance?
What does Mia want to destroy? Well, strictly for her interiority, herself.
Cool.
And no, she will not.
So, my next question is, Flannery, are you doing what you're told and sticking close to the boss?
I think in this case she is, because she wants to make a good showing on her first outing. And moreover, she believes what the boss is saying. Like, she wants to make sure nobody gets hurt, at least if not the boss that's sending them out there to give them orders and keep them safe. So, yeah, I think she'll land pretty close.
Okay. So there is, at the north side of the building, there are 2 8th Chorus Angels. One on the east side and one on the west side. I've placed Mia by the one on the east side. The one on the west side is currently unbothered. Got a fork in the road. We have some overgrown trees. We have a massive gate that is clearly equal parts for show and for the stern utility of a prison gate. Where am I putting Balthazar?
I feel like Balthazar wants to be as far away from it as possible.
On the gate? On the wall?
Yeah, maybe.
On the prison?
No, that's too close. You see, they're right there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that, I guess listening to Mia I'm probably more looking for other people to save as an excuse to not be near them. So I'm going to probably go by the gate because it looks like there's like an interior portion of that where people could be.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'll land right there by the gate.
Great. And finally, Lillian.
I think she's going to be right between and right behind both Flannery and Mia because I think she is super worried about those two and doesn't also want to be alone.
Okay. And with that, I do believe it's time to start our first combat.
Woo.
Balthazar.
Yeah.
As you have descended from the helicopter, as you were on your way here, there was a constant feed in your ear. Commands, status updates, everything the bridge can think of to send you. You're in constant communication. And those voices grow dim as you approach the gate.
I hate that. I hate all of that. Am I still in communication with my 3 partners here?
Yes, you still have comms to them, but you notice that they start breaking up if you go like inside the gate.
Yeah, for sure. I think Balthazar might like over comms just go, is anybody else breaking up? I'm having a hard time hearing everyone.
Sorry, what was that? I think you might be breaking up a little bit there.
What, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I think you're...
Mostly.
Yeah, there you are.
I can't hear you. You're breaking up. Is this supposed to? Is this
Can you hear
normal?
me? Hello?
Should this be happening?
I think Mia, just like in the midst of landing in front of the angel, is just like,
Baker, keep a cool head. Remain where I can see you.
Okay, I got part of that. I'm by the gate. I'm gonna look for people inside.
Can she even see you in there?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get some people out.
All right. Would you like to make me an evacuation roll, please? I would like to actually get a harmony roll from Baker.
Oh, okie dokie. A harmony roll. Trying to remember. So my harmony being 4 means I roll 46, correct?
That is correct. I forgot that you were playing the unit with the huge stat. Excellent scanners on almost blue.
Oof. That's a 3, a 3, a 2, and a 2.
Oh.
Oof, yeah.
Success with consequences. Okay. Inside the gate, you see people huddled together. You hear them first. You hear a person shouting. And as you get closer, you see that they're clutching a handheld radio and shouting into it. It is returning nothing but static. Most of the people you see in front of you are dressed in plain clothes. A few of them are wearing lab coats. And there is a figure lying on the ground. Someone very young. The people are gathered around, bent over. Someone's clearly attempting resuscitation, but it's hard to tell who it is.
Oh no. I wasn't expecting a maybe dead child in here. I honestly think Balthazar starts having a panic attack. I think, yeah, I'm imagining like getting to like either the window of the doors of this, opening it up like into the room of this, and like quickly scanning around like a little bit panicked, and then like seeing that and just as full on starts hyperventilating. Goes, I'm and like stumbles out and like just goes onto the comms. There are people in the gate. I think there's a kid on the ground. I don't know what's going on.
Wait. And you hear Callista from the support staff. And you know Callista. She bakes. And you hear, where have you been? We lost you on the scanners.
I'm by the prison gate. There are people
You're okay.
in here. They're trying.
Okay. You're okay?
They're
okay?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm okay.
Okay.
There's people in the gate trying to contact people, but it seems their radio isn't working.
Our scanners didn't detect any civilians.
There's about a dozen of them. There's a need of medical assistance.
Okay.
Someone's out cold. Looks like a kid.
We're on it. Orders from the commander. Hold the gate.
Is there anything else you would like to do with your turn aside from the evacuation roll?
I don't think so. Because everything is very far away from me.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything in mind?
I am going to do violence. I am also going to look over my shoulder to Lin and just give a cursory shout.
Young, support Baker.
I can do that.
And then I'm going to turn to the angel and I am going to use one of my abilities. I'm going to use Batter.
Yeah. This might be a good time to tell everybody what Turnstile, aka Oni, looks like.
So, Oni is a mostly charcoal colored hymnal made out of like these pretty nasty segmented pieces of armor that are broken up by these panel lines of like bright iridescent pink and a face that's like a traditional like Oni mask almost, but the horns are made entirely out of just like pure glowing pink energy. And she is equipped with a massive, angry-looking kanabo that is also exuding this like pink iridescent energy.
And what is that kanabo doing right now?
Violence.
Wonderful.
So Mia withdraws the long like metal rod attached to the back of her hymnal, and as she swings it out in front of her and the business end clacks against the stone pavement, she twists the handle and it revs like a motorcycle as iridescent pink spikes just erupt from every flat surface all over the giant club. I am going to batter, which with my violent song is actually going to do 4 harm. So I need to do dice.
No, you do not need to roll to do an ability. You just spend the gain and it happens.
That's right.
And 4 is enough to absolutely just like punch through an 8th chorus angel and cause it to destabilize and just melt into the ground. This thing is like 2 stories tall. It is a huge pearly pudding, and it gives way to this massive blow and just dissolves.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. I leave a giant, giant fuck off crater with the swing of the club.
Yeah. Do you want to do any movement, or do you want to do any like evac rolls or any other rolls on your turn?
Remind me, Kat, for the sake of myself and for good radio, what kinds of rolls would those be? Obviously evacuation, I know that much, but...
Well, you can roll to make an attack if you like. You can roll to pretty much anything that would take up a turn that isn't a power. I'll figure out a facet and ask you to roll it.
Sickaroonie. I think I am going to take this opportunity to now back up and try to grab Flannery by the arm and push back into Lin and withdraw to the fork in the path so I can just get all of us like right there. Just by like pushing us backward just a little bit so that we're away from that previous encounter and have line of sight on the other one.
Okay. Lin and Flannery, are you allowing yourself to be ushered back to the middle of this arena?
Yes, but Linlin's going to go a bit further. There was originally some hesitation after she was given the command to go check on Balthazar, but then after seeing the angel just explode near instantly, that's given her confidence and more faith that these two would be able to cover it, and she's going to make her way over to the building.
Okay.
And I think similarly, Flannery up to now had been, again, nervous about this encounter. And up to the point where Mia attacked the angel, she had been frozen to the spot. This is far more real than any danger room simulation she's been put through so far. And the size of this thing is incredibly intimidating. But watching it go down to that just one massive hit reminds her that a lot of angels are a lot more vulnerable to their hymnal units than they look. And I think initially she's getting pulled along by Mia. She's actually going to keep that momentum going and run past Mia towards the next angel, running more and more confidently and even doing like a front handspring towards it as she gets this excited grin on her face.
Yeah. So I suppose now it sounds like you have a definite idea of what you want to do with your turn.
I think I do at this point, yes.
Can you just tell us what Sunrise Vixen looks like, would you please?
Yes. Sunrise Vixen is sort of more like a power armor than a mech. It has an open front face and very lightweight armor pieces, all in bright reds and oranges. It has these kind of swept back horn pieces up on the top helmet that look like flames, and a lot of dragon scale type shapes to the armor around her body. And her weapon, it looks at first like just a unimpressive short sword, like a Viking short sword. But as she approaches this angel and comes out of the handspring, she raises the sword up and it breaks into segments along a flexible metal core, and she swings it out, and it becomes a whip sword that she swings around her like a gymnast's ribbon, and it catches on fire as she does so. And she looks at this angel and says, "All right, let's rev it up." And she starts singing and goes for one of her powers next as well.
Please do. Also, remember, everybody, you do not have to wait till your turn to use powers.
Oh yeah, no, this just works out the way.
Yeah, okay. Please don't wait to be called on to do wilder things.
No, I think this works with the flow of the scene so far.
Okay.
So she starts spinning the whip sword around her like a big flaming tornado, and the flame kicks up higher and higher until she lashes out at the angel with one of her signature moves that she's been practicing in the simulations, Hellraiser, which will deal 1 harm to a close target and reduce condemnation on the battlefield by 10%. Also, she is currently singing a proud song, which will allow me to spend 1 extra gain to deal 1 additional harm.
All right. You hear the soft voice of your support staff member, Ada, over the comms.
Condemnation 10% and falling.
As the flames gather higher, they start to catch on this iridescent light in the air, as if literally burning the ethereal gases around her away as she slices into this angel body.
All right. The angel hates it. It's a big pearly blob, and it doesn't seem to have any real expressions, but there is a gash in its amorphous form now that still kind of trails sparks as it moves. Would you like to do anything else with your turn? Would you like to make a basic attack or make an evac roll?
Are there any civilians in this area? Like directly around?
Not that you can see.
In that case, I'll probably just finish it up with a basic, like, the attack is finishing up and she gets 1 last lash in for a regular attack.
That sounds to me like a tempo roll.
Yeah. It's a lot of fancy footwork going into this.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a 1 and a 4.
All right. A 4 is a success with consequences. You deepen the gash in this creature with your ribbon of searing flame and violence. And it is massive. It is 2 stories tall. It has no right being this size. And I think what I want to do is deal 3 harm to a close target.
Oh, yep. That's a thing you can do.
It just leans over with one of its enormous pearlescent pseudopods and slams down on Flannery.
I think in that moment she feels like she's doing amazingly, and she is, all things considered. But in the aftermath of the attack, she looks up and realizes the thing is not actually down yet. And as this big pearlescent limb comes down on her, she just looks up wide-eyed as it slams down on her. That will take her down to 1 health.
Listener, if it had been anyone else, they would have been done.
Yeah. Jesus.
It's worth noting that Flannery is tough. That leaves us with Lin Lin.
Right now, she is going through so much. She was given instruction, and then she rejected it. And then once she was impressed, she followed it. And then as soon as she's chasing after to check on Balthazar, there's an explosion just behind her, as she can tell that somebody's gotten hit. But right now, she's got a mission to do, and right now she's just trying to just bury everything that she wants to do out of the way and do what she needs to do, so she's going to take a peek inside the room.
Okay. As you peek inside the room, you notice the same thing that Balthazar did. Your comms are cutting out. You hear people screaming into a staticky radio. The people have mostly cleared away from the form lying on the ground. There are about a dozen people here. Most of them don't look like soldiers.
Hi, I'm with Hell. We're gonna get you out of here. Are you all safe? Or is anybody else injured?
Everyone just kind of stops and looks at the figure on the ground and parts slightly. You see a Hell uniform.
She takes a deep breath and then a gulp and is going to check on the figure on the ground.
Can I get a harmony roll from you, please?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with all one of my dice. That is a 3.
Your scanners detect signs of life. She is breathing. Shallowly, but breathing.
And she's gonna immediately shout to everybody around, like, she's alive, everybody, she's alive, she's breathing right now.
And you recognize this person. This is the leader of Astaroth Team, alias Morning Dove. Given name Olivia, I don't know if you were friendly enough to ever get it when you were around the base. She's your age. Taller, much taller. With brown skin and wavy brown hair. And all of the silver light that made up the hymnal Morning Dove is gone. The pendant Olivia wears is lying in pieces on her chest.
No. Okay, you're gonna be fine, okay? Olivia, can you hear me right now? Olivia, can you hear me right now? We're gonna be alright, okay?
There's a twitch.
Okay.
There's a twitch.
And right now she is just trying to recount everything inside medical knowledge and first aid that she could think of. But right now she just doesn't know enough of what has happened, so she is just going to make sure that blood is going to be able to at least go to everything it needs to. She elevates feet, make sure that things are moving, make sure that she's breathing, and is just checking for any wounds that are around.
It's worth noting that now that you're inside the gate area, your scanners just absolutely light up with just like civilians detected and the outlines of everybody. As if your scanners are just now realizing it for the first time.
Come on, work. Work, damn it, work. Okay. Anybody able to give me answers here?
And they seem stunned.
Look, I need answers right now. Nobody will die today, okay? This includes her, this includes all of you. It's gonna be alright. I just need to know if any of you are able to give me help.
And a figure in a lab coat approaches, and someone runs from somewhere else in the gate guard station, having brought a first aid kit.
Whatever you can do, whatever you need to have happen, just tell me so I can let it happen.
Most of what you hear from them is it over?
It will be very soon. It's already halfway done. I've seen them just destroy it in a single second. You have the right people with you right now.
And if there's nothing else you'd like to do on your turn, I believe that makes it my turn.
It sure is.
I don't like this part.
Yeah, why can't it just be our turn all the time?
We're in danger.
I want to do more heroism.
Okay, so if Lin looks out, then we'll see what look like iridescent crystalline spiders crawling down from the roof of the gate building. One of them quite close to Balthazar, and 4 more of them climb down over the roof of the penitentiary proper, near where Flannery has just taken her hit. These are second chorus angels, relatively well known. They exist to destroy things, to tear down our buildings, ruin our roads. But perhaps more distressingly is the fact that the angel that struck Flannery, the enormous 8th chorus angel, flops backward, weakened by the great gash across its body. And the gash deepens and deepens until the creature splits. Flannery finds herself standing between 2 enormous building-sized angels. And behind there is the clattering of the insectoid limbs of the second chorus.